Hello, and welcome to the latest Dubber webinar entitled Breakthrough Revenue and Customer Intelligence. My name is Theo Tida. I'm going to be your host for today's session. My role within Dubber, I'm looking after the regional responsibility for sales across the Asia Pacific region. So in a moment, I'll be handing over to our Chief Customer Officer, Andy Lark. Andy's going to be talking to you under the broad theme of new sales strategies using conversational intelligence. So one of the things that we've learned over the last couple of years, and we're seeing more and more demand from this, is that obviously compliance call recording is a must-have, but also how do we use that compliance as a kind of a land and expand strategy into the broader end customer base. But then also, as we look further afield, what we're seeing more and more so is the demand for revenue, people, and customer, as well as compliance intelligence, is really profound. And therefore, Andy's going to spend some time understanding or making us understand how we ask the right questions to address those conversations, but then also a bit of a deeper dive into some of the existing user cases that prove those points. Towards the end of today's webinar, I'll then come back to you to talk to the Dubber Grow rewards program, just to kind of make sure that as a group that we're familiar with what's available. I'll talk to that with a couple of examples, and then we'll wrap up hopefully with enough time left over for the Q&A towards the tail end of today's webinar. For those of you who haven't attended one of these sessions previously, please note that there is a chat function available on screen. If there's anything in particular that you want to ask or a particular comment that you want to make, please do use that chat function. We'll try and get to everything through the session or towards the tail end, and failing that worst case scenario, we'll wrap it up towards the end and actually send it post-session with some solutions or answers for you. So as I said, my name is Theo Tida. I'm going to be your host today. I'm delighted now, though, to hand over to Andy Lark, Dubber's Chief Customer Officer, who's going to talk to you for about 25 minutes or so, and I'll be back to you thereafter. Over to you, Andy. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Hi, this is Andy Lark, and welcome to today's webinar. We're thrilled to be able to take you through our view on how you can start turbocharging growth through new sales strategies and approaches using conversational intelligence. Now, when we talk about conversational intelligence, we're talking about a very broad category of data, the data that spans calls, chat, video, messaging, and more. So I'm excited to step you through this. We're going to go through a lot of content today. You can obviously have a copy of these slides and get into a bit more of the detail. I'm not going to touch on everything on every slide, so just for the sake of time, but and do feel free at the end to reach out to us with questions, thoughts, and we've got plenty of additional marketing communications material, case studies, light papers and white papers that can assist you in selling. One of the things we most commonly hear from partners, service and solution providers today is that the race is on to achieve differentiation, to increase revenue, and to drive customer retention. And in many, many customer scenarios, whether it's the call center, financial services with compliance, even sectors such as entertainment, gambling, wagering, travel, conversational data is a must-have. Now, call recording's been around for a long time. It's normally been attached to a SIP trunk connection going into a facility. So it's been very attached to a single line or to a specific application. Well, in this new work from anywhere world, clearly that doesn't work very well. We're all on Zoom, chat, WebEx, mobiles, a whole range of different communications means, which means call recording needs to be modernized. Needs to be upgraded to reflect the way businesses communicate and connect and collaborate with customers today. If you do that, you're able to suddenly shift conversations with customers from talking about connections, which, let's face it, everyone has a variety of them that they can offer, to actually how do you use the content created on and through those connections to deliver value to the enterprise. So it's a lot more than just call recording. It's about, for the first time, how do you unlock conversational data at scale and turn it into a crucial asset for every business and government entity. Now, why is this important? Well, we need to end not knowing. We need to suddenly be able to automatically reveal insights, intelligence, in its most basic form, a record of the conversation if we're going to undertake proactive compliance. Now, I'm going to give you some case study examples of these in action. So we'll get into these in a bit more detail, but the use cases are broad and varied. Now, when we look about why this is so important, Gartner suggests that by 2025, 75% of all conversations will be recorded. Now, this is driven by a whole range of factors. A work from anywhere world, certainly one of them. But more importantly, organizations have come to realize that voice remains one of the largest untapped source of insights in their business today. Less than 10% of conversations are actually captured today. And many of those that are captured are disposed of very quickly. So they don't meet data retention and compliance requirements. And increasingly, as organizations adapt to a work from anywhere world, it means those conversations now need to be captured on an entirely new generation of endpoints. So think WebEx Teams, think Microsoft Teams, think UC and IP connections for UCaaS and modernized call center environments. So this demand is very, very real. So it not only applies to when you might be out talking to a new customer, it applies equally to every single customer that you're engaging with today. So it's a great opportunity to cross-sell and upsell. So why is this so important? Well, there is an enormous opportunity around proactive compliance. Most organizations today are struggling to meet compliance mandates globally. Even if you're sitting here, for instance, where I am today in Australia, the demand for answering compliance mandates is in fact global. A financial institution here may also be having to satisfy mandates that are equally applicable in the UK, let's say. So you need to be able to record and capture at scale. You need to be able to guarantee that you are capturing all of the conversations occurring and be able to replay those instantly. Probably the single biggest shift here in the replay and no category is the ability to instantly search conversations and then to be able to reveal, report, and respond, not just when you're asked to, but also to be able to get automagical notifications and signals if incorrect conversations are occurring. Now, some people sort of say to me at this point, well, can't you just record inside a lot of these apps today? Well, you can, but that's perfect, personal, and sometimes confidential, sometimes not confidential call recording. Largely, it doesn't satisfy compliance mandates. It doesn't satisfy compliance mandates because often it's not stored securely and safely. It's not available to the enterprise. It's often very hard to access, and it's completely dumb data. In other words, it's not enriched with AI, it's not intelligent, and it doesn't deliver you meaningful insights. So what we're talking about here in terms of driving proactive compliance is an entirely new generation of solution that enables organizations to move from a non-compliant standing and status in the way they collect data and store data, but also to a proactive standing in the way that they can use that data to signal breaches, issues, and areas they should be addressing in near real time. Also, the ability to share that data automatically with any other application. So let's say I want to connect that to my compliance system. Let's say I want to connect that to Salesforce. I'm suddenly able to do that with Dubber for the first time. Now, there are a lot of questions, and I'm not going to dwell on these particular slides. These are more for you to have in your hip pocket, so you can pull them out and use them to queue up conversations. But in many instances, the number one conversation to have is where are conversations happening today? And more than often in compliance environments, those conversations are being driven by customers. So customers are saying, I want to meet you on Zoom, I want to meet you on Teams. You need a signal where someone who's not meant to be doing that says, well, let's take this offline and jump onto WhatsApp. Let's take that offline and chat on Zoom. You need, for instance, signals on that if you're a compliance manager. And often the recording itself, the way it's undertaken is non-compliant. So there's no enterprise-wide policy for determining what conversations should be recorded when and where. So it's very, very important that you know how to have that conversation, but you can have it in a light way and pull Dubber in to help you navigate through it if you need further help with it. Here's a great example of this. This is a Swiss private bank. Double was deployed in a matter of weeks there to solve major issues they had with potentially rogue employee behavior. The process prior to Double was very manual. It was cumbersome. It could take days, if not weeks, to discover the call record they were looking for. And they had no automated way of transcribing many languages at scale. Double enabled them to satisfy their compliance requirements, remove a whole lot of legacy costs from the business with a far more efficient, effective, and compliant platform. So suddenly this organization was struggling to understand and know what was said, to ending not knowing exactly what was said, when it was said, and having proactive notifications and alerts so that they could show the regulator that not only did they have the data, but they were very proactive in managing activity and communications as it occurred across their business. So the next big one I want to touch on for you as a sales opportunity is revenue leakage. Now, a simple way of thinking about revenue leakage is in terms of dispute resolution. Literally billions of dollars are lost every year because businesses can't efficiently resolve a dispute or deal with a customer issue in a way that doesn't cost them money. So what if you had a record of every conversation that you could instantly recall to prove what was said and what the customer committed to? So there's lots of things you can go and probe here to dig into this one, but the simplest one is, are you struggling to resolve customer disputes? How much are those disputes costing you each year? How would you benefit from an accurate record of every conversation? Would you like to be able to instantly search those conversations while the customer is on the phone? And we've got great examples of this. This is a business in Australia, and these examples kind of really excite me because they're not huge businesses, and that really demonstrates the utility and efficiency of Dubber to scale into nearly every environment. So WellPet's faced a very simple challenge, right? Customers would commit to services being offered, and then quickly later question those services and say, well, I didn't quite agree to that, or I didn't think it was going to cost that much, or could we get a better price for that? That doesn't seem right. I never agreed to that. Well, now they can instantly pull up a call record and show the customer they did inform them of the cost. The customer did accept the cost, and therefore it should be paid. So more importantly, they can do that in real time. Their prior solution, a legacy call recording solution, it would take them days to find that call record. Now it's Google-like in terms of real-time search and real-time discovery. More importantly, it's an immutable proof of the conversation. It's a precise record of exactly what was said, either in verbal form or transcribed form. And that's the beauty of data. Sometimes they get asked the question, well, how accurate are transcriptions? Well, we provide amongst the most accurate transcriptions in the world, but even then, not always perfect. Human language is very, very variable, which is why it's so crucial to have something like the Dubber app or web portal at hand, where you can both see the transcription, but you can also quickly navigate in real time into the actual verbal conversation. So this is not just back-end technology, this is also front-end technology that a customer has on their iPhone or has via their web browser, so they can instantly dig into any conversation as in where they need it. The next one here is sort of customer intelligence. So this is the ability of any business to be able to mine conversational data for keywords to know what's happening. Now, traditionally, NPS or Net Promoter Score or customer satisfaction data is a rear view window into the past. Typically, that data is presented 4-6 months after the date. Well, what if every business had real-time sentiment data? What if you could instantly search a keyword on a product or a promotion you were running and know how much that was talked about? Suddenly you have real-time intelligence into what's happening in the business. I was talking to a business the other day that was using this to start predicting what they should be ordering back into their supply chain to understand what products customers were asking about the most. So suddenly you not only have a record in terms of data, but you also have a record in terms of coaching. So you can suddenly go in and say, gee, if customers are complaining a lot about that, how are people resolving that complaint? Are they following the training we're given? Do they really understand the right response to a customer question or a query? So lots of questions you could use to probe this and uncover demand. What have you had real-time visibility and customer intelligence across all touch points? I was talking to a sales leader the other day who was really excited about this because he said, look, we focus a lot on our call center, but what we don't have a lot of exposure to is all the conversations our salespeople are having over WebEx meetings. It's going to be great for me to be able to go into any Salesforce record, click on a particular account and see the presentation and the meeting that occurred 3 or 4 days ago. If that's a material deal to me making my quarter, I do want to be able to go back in and dive in and see what's being said and see if what I'm being told really reflects what's being said, see if the pitch has been right. The same sales leader made a really interesting point, which he said, I'm going to add 30, 40 new salespeople this year. I'm going to invest a lot in training them, but once they've done their training, it's real easy for me to lose track of what they're actually doing when they're in the market. And I really want to see how customers are responding to what they're talking about and what they're doing. So suddenly with Dubber, that sales leader can dive into the Salesforce records, instantly see the last customer presentation, see how well the reps are performing, and give them coaching and help. So lots of examples here. This is a terrific little example from a medium-sized city council who suddenly was able to use all of the conversations they were having in their call center to improve coaching, training, and education, right? To get real-time customer satisfaction insights presented up into their dashboard. Now, a lot of people go out there and they look at call center platforms, compliance platforms, where they're really buying the dashboards. Wouldn't it be better if you actually had all of your conversational data aggregated in one place, and then you simply and easily provision dashboards into whatever platform you're using? It could be Tableau, Cognos, Power BI. We live a lot in Google Data Studio. So suddenly you're able to get aggregated insights, not just across your conversational data, but also other data sets. It could be your e-commerce orders, it could be your website visits, it could be the help section of your site and seeing what the interaction and correlation is between that particular failure point. So for people like Devonport City Council, Dubber provides an incredibly cost-effective, rich solution to improving customer satisfaction. And the thing I really like about what Devonport City Council have done is they're using it for coaching, they're using it for training, they're using it to help their employees perform better and better deal with customer issues and disputes. Next one I want to touch on quickly, and I've kind of hinted at this in the last couple I've been talking to, is this notion of people intelligence. So this idea that right now, where we don't know how our employees are doing, they're dispersed at home, they're isolated, they're locked down. Suddenly I have real-time customer and employee sentiment data coming through. I can get a sense of how my agents are feeling and working with customers. But more importantly, I've got a real-time training lens. For me at Dubber, this is a really cool thing. So for instance, we do a digital stand-up during the week. We do that on WebEx meetings. And for my team that's in the UK and the US, I'm instantly able to share highlights of that in video back into those teams so they can click and play and see what was said and see what was agreed to. You even listen to it in the car if they're going for a drive or a walk. They don't actually have to even watch the video. They can just listen in. It's hugely powerful in sort of keeping people on the same page and keeping people connected. So great for coaching, training, keeping people informed. But what makes this different than traditional legacy recording or even the light touch in-app recording that exists today is I'm doing that securely, right? I'm not recording that, sticking it on my hard disk, having to put it into Dropbox, creating a Dropbox links and sharing it. I'm doing that all from Dubber. So it's tightly controlled. I'm ensuring that our confidential information isn't leaking to people I don't want to have access to it. I've got total control over that system of record and that data. So really, really important for organizations to be challenged on this idea that just because you can record it doesn't mean you should be recording it. You need to do it in a way that's secure, it's private, it's confidential, and the data itself respects global storage and privacy mandates. So great opportunity here for you to go and talk to HR leaders, business leaders about how they can improve their people intelligence across their businesses. So lots of questions you could use to probe here. I won't touch too much on these ones because I think we've covered them. But the one point I would make, and the thing I really love about Dubber, is the ability to quickly integrate that with other platforms. Now, you, like many of us, probably live in some CRM system. We live in Salesforce. So suddenly, if I want to see a presentation that one of my inside sales reps did last week, which I heard great things about, I simply go into that customer record and I can see that customer presentation, replay it, and either send them compliments or give them some coaching in real time. So enormously powerful way of improving. You can see here with Soma technology how they've done this. And that now, crucially, Soma also shows the enormous opportunity here to remove legacy costs. Legacy call recording imposes all kinds of costs in terms of hardware, storage, infrastructure, services, management. All of those go away with Dubber. We're born in the cloud, we're delivered through the cloud, we're on with a click. So Soma not only got the benefit of removing legacy call recording costs, they also got the benefit of being able to really improve team education and training, right? And to do that in real time from wherever you are. Another sales leader I was talking to who runs an auto parts dealers chain in the US said, you know, he's just made Dubber a daily habit now. He just sits in the car on the way home, listens to outbound calls that his inside sales reps are making, gives them a call back and go, gee, I noticed you didn't upsell to this, or you didn't cross-sell to this, or I can give you some coaching on how to overcome that objection. So it's a really valuable tool for every manager and every leader in terms of improving customer service and improving people intelligence. Same thing here over at a large Australian-owned member bank. To improve their experience. Again, replacing costly legacy call recording with a fully modernized cloud platform enabled them to save an enormous amount of money. The ROI is nearly instantaneous just on a replacement basis. But more importantly, what it does is it enables them to meet those crucial compliance requirements. And here in Australia, for instance, we've got new compliance requirements coming at us every year. This year it's Reg 271, for instance, which is crucial to resolving disputes and really, really important to proving that you're addressing customer issues in the right way. So huge opportunity here. Now, all of these tie together into painting a better picture of revenue intelligence. And I've sort of hinted at this also, so I'm not going to overdwell on this one either. But the idea here is Dubber, once connected to Salesforce, now you've got a real-time record. No more arguments about manual note-taking, no more guessing what may or may not have been said. Are the records accurate? It's all automatically fueled with real-time conversational data. So immensely powerful. So you can probe this one in all kinds of interesting ways, but the ability to surface data, improve the quality of your overall revenue data based on actually what was said, not someone interpreting what was said, suddenly becomes very, very, very powerful. And the final one is just market intelligence. Now, as a marketer, I use this all the time. I want to know what are the keywords people are using. I want to know what products are being spoken about the most. I want to know if offers or promotions are surfacing in those customer conversations so that I know my marketing's working. Suddenly I can do all of that in real time with Dubber. So lots of interesting angles here for you to go and probe and interesting conversations to have. So how does Dubber do this? Right, you're going to hear more about this in a moment, but Dubber is a first of its kind solution. We're the global leader in the space as a result because of our ability to record and capture any conversation from any endpoint, drop it into the Dubber Voice Intelligence Cloud where we enable it to be replayed and reviewed, but more importantly, we AI enrich that data, turn it into meaningful insights and information. So hugely powerful as a platform. I believe you're going to hear in a moment a little bit about the different product solutions and product packages we provide that'll give you a sense of how to deliver and sell Dubber today. So as you get into Dubber, you'll see, and I've hinted at this as I've been going through it, just a broad range of solutions available to you. All of them rich in functionality and features. Voice to text transcription in many languages with exciting features such as auto language detect. So it will detect a different language and enable you to have that translated in the dominant language. Automagical sentiment and tone analysis, another great example. I can tell you the number one thing I hear from customers is the real-time search, just that ability to find any conversation, drill into it in real time, and put it to good use. So tons of amazing features inside Dubber that you can benefit from today. So as you get into Dubber, I'd really suggest that you join more of our webinars, learn more about this rich product offering, all the functionality we deliver today, and we look forward to seeing you there. Also, take a look at Dubber.net. There's more great case studies up there and a heap more information that you can dig into and learn from. So thanks for joining us today. It's been great talking to you, and I think we're going to head back to the rest of the webinar now and get into learning a bit more about some of the products and some of the things that we can help you with today. So thanks very much, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Andy. That was really helpful and loads of insights there. So look, guys, I just wanted to finish up with a couple of slides on the Dubber Grow campaign. And really, just if you haven't come across it before, it's very much worthwhile getting across it, especially obviously if you are talking to customers and you have revenue responsibility across your business. So this is how it works. There's two real kind of data points here. There's a $5 per endpoint for opportunities that are qualified and registered by the end of September, or there's a $10 premium for those endpoints where the opportunities actually close won by the 30th of September. And there's also a 2x booster for those opportunities which are mid-market or larger, so sort of 150 endpoints or above, and really easy to get across this. So the first thing is obviously to identify a Dubber prospect, and hopefully through the stuff that Andy's talked to you about today, there should be a lot of those. And then also, once that's been done, to register that opportunity via the Dubber website, and you can see the web address on screen, so the dubber.net/dubbergrow. And then once that's been registered, schedule a demo with the Dubber account manager that's across your partnership, and make sure that demo is done with the end customer towards August, September, certainly by the end of September, so we can register that as a dedicated and qualified opportunity under your organization. So just a couple of examples of what that might look like in terms of deal construct. So again, you can see up to 5,000 in cash is available. So in these examples here, the first one is for 30 endpoints, so a 30 subscriber opportunity. That would be at the $5 per endpoint. So $5 times 30 gives us a total of $150. And then in the second one, it's actually a closed one. So someone's actually come in with a particular pain point and closed off the deal in record time. So there's 20 subs times the $10. So that gives us 20 times 10, which gives us $200 in terms of payment. And the last one is a opportunity which is getting towards that sort of mid-market and larger deal opportunity. So it's north of our 150 threshold. So the 180 times $10 for that premium gets us to $1,800. And if we do the maths, the total of cost those three would be $2,150. So some good money that can be earned by the partner, but also it recognizes where the value is, both in terms of obviously unpacking all the stuff that Andy's gone through, being able to kind of bring that into your own market opportunities, get those qualified, get us supporting you on those calls, because there's some really powerful tools, but also some insights that the team can help you in terms of being able to deliver that back into your end customers, and then also get paid for it, which is not a bad model. So that's something, as I said, it's available to all our registered partners. So again, you can see the website there, dubber.net, Dubber Grow, and would encourage that to be adopted on a quarterly basis, and certainly as we're going into this quarter and sort of towards the tail end of it for August and September. So that's it for today's session. I would say that we've run out of time for any kind of specific questions, but we will roll them up into the follow-up that goes out after today's webinar. What I would say also is, again, Andy in particular, thank you very much for all your insights as usual. Some really powerful case studies included alongside some of the questions that we can ask and pose of our end customers. And for everyone who's attended, thank you again for your attention. Hope you're keeping okay and safe, and look forward to hosting you on another double webinar in the near future. And do reach out either to me directly or to the partner team here if you have anything specific that needs addressing, or if you need some support on any particular opportunity, or if you have any queries related to today's session. Thank you again, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.